Hey, Browns fans, Spencer German with you from Cleveland Browns on SI, live in Berea after another day of practice is in the books for your Cleveland Browns, getting closer and closer to kickoff with the Baltimore Ravens in a matchup that obviously is they're going into it as pretty severe underdogs, but they're preparing the same nonetheless, getting ready for this matchup and trying to right the ship here a little bit. A lot of different stuff going on this week, as you know. There was the big bombshell from head coach Kevin Stefanski on Wednesday that he was going to be passing off the play calling to Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator here in Cleveland. And today we had a chance to actually talk to Ken Dorsey about that very thing and get his perspective on how this all went down. You'll hear his thoughts on that here in just a second. Also, you'll hear him mention that this was something that they had not talked about prior to this week. I thought that was an important thing to kind of get clarification on, because maybe one of the most perplexing parts about this move. Yes, we know that they're being forced to obviously have a different quarterback now with Deshaun Watson done for the season, but to change the offensive play caller at this juncture when the offensive coordinator was brought in strictly, not strictly, but primarily to help accelerate or get the most out of or see the full potential of Deshaun Watson was kind of interesting. So let's play you the clip here. Ken Dorsey had some interesting words and thoughts just on him now assuming the play calling duties, what it means going forward, and what you can expect from his offense here in Week 8.
Just trying to win a football game, just go out and trying to win a game. Obviously, this league's so week to week, and you never know what happens. In my situation, I think just like players, right? Somebody takes a step back or is not in there. Players got to be ready to step up, and it's the same thing for coaches.
The process from Sunday night to whenever of you guys making this decision to change play calling?
I think a lot of reflection for us and for Ken. Ken's got a great feel and pulse of this team from day one since he stepped in the building. I feel like so. I think it's a lot of reflection, a lot of just evaluating where we're at, and I think it was a decision that just is made for right now. And again, we take these things week by week.
Have you guys talked about Kevin handing over play calling duties to you prior to this week, or is that just something that came up this week?
Again, that was the conversation we had this week. His thoughts in terms of priorities, you'd have to obviously ask Kevin about that, but this was the first conversation we had.
So yeah, I thought that last part was interesting, just the fact that it didn't come up prior to this week. There's a couple different angles on this, and I know I kind of questioned. I'm sure everyone's kind of questioning why now. I think there was some important context there from Ken Dorsey, where he's kind of saying like, we're just trying to win a football game, and he thinks Kevin was kind of evaluating where they're at and just trying to make a change. So on one hand, I do think there's something to be said for, you have a quarterback change, and maybe this isn't the quarterback that Ken Dorsey was brought in specifically to work closely with and tap into that player's skill set. But if you're looking for a spark and you're desperate at this point, why not try something different? And they're trying two things different. One being their hand being forced to start a different quarterback, but also now changing play calling duties. But the other part of this too is I do have to wonder, 1-6 on the season, you kind of know where you're at. You understand that the playoffs are a long shot at this point, unless, as Grant Delpit sort of joked at the end of his media availability today, they run the table, go 10-0 the rest of the way and finish 11-6. You got to evaluate everything, whether that be the quarterback position, whether that be the head coach, whether that be the play caller, whether that be the offense as a whole and in certain positions specifically. So, why not see what Ken Dorsey can bring to the table if he can be a long-term solution for calling plays here and what that all looks like. So I think that sort of plays into this decision as well. On the other side of things, defensively, this matchup for the Browns is going to create a lot of headaches. This Ravens team is a juggernaut right now. They're playing some of their best football since the start of the season, and they're coming in red hot. 4 straight wins or 5 straight wins at this point now for them. And the Browns are going to have their hands full. They know that going into this, and part of the reason for that is this dynamic duo that the Ravens have created with Derrick Henry joining the fold this offseason, and those two kind of in the backfield just creating this unstoppable force, it seems like. Derrick Henry's been a topic of conversation all week long, but today we got to hear specifically from Jim Schwartz, and also Grant Delpit talked about it a little bit. We'll play two different clips here, but first up, Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator, just about what Derrick Henry brings to the table, the challenge that he presents, and how good of a player he still is in this league.
He certainly gives those guys a different dimension in the run game, and I would say it's because of all the big plays. It's 5-yarders, it's the 80-yarders, and some of those things that we've seen on film. Derrick Henry's a player we know. We went against him last year, and we're going to have to play our very best to slow down and contain their running game. He's been an outstanding player for a long time in the NFL, and he's got great size. He's got great straight line speed, and he's got a good cast around him too. They make you defend so much in the run game. You just can't concentrate on taking a running back out. You have the quarterback keepers that you have to handle. You have the jet sweeps, the Flowers that you have to handle. The jailbreak screens, the Flowers and the other receivers. You have to defend all 11 on every single play. You just can't focus on one person.
I think Schwartz kind of summed up pretty well how difficult it is to stop this Ravens offense. They are almost like not even a three-headed snake or a two-headed snake. It's like a five-headed snake. They have weapons all over the field, guys who all get involved in the run game and the pass game, and Derrick Henry is one of those biggest threats. He has certainly added another level and another dynamic to this offense and unlocked, in some ways, Lamar Jackson, who's obviously having a tremendous season yet again off of winning the MVP award last year. Speaking of Derrick Henry, though, some more. Grant Delpit, he talked about the challenges that he presents from a defensive standpoint, and actually had a suggestion for how they can prepare to go up against him at practice this week.
Yeah, it's a couple things that's different, but they just try to tailor to the kind of runs that he's good at. He kind of like to stay on the track and keep it that way. So kind of got a game plan around that. But they got a dangerous 1-2 combo back there. It's pretty working so far.
Sorry. Where does Derrick rank in terms of maybe one of the tougher players to bring down in the open field?
Yeah, he's big. It's pretty big. He got size on. We're just gonna put DeJuan, the scout team running back. Just let him give us a good look.
Just the thought of DeJuan Jones as the scout team running back is a pretty scary thing. That's definitely a big body to try to bring down, but I do kind of like the fun answer there from Grant in terms of trying to prepare for Derrick Henry. That is one of the biggest challenges for sure that this Browns team has to prepare for defensively as they get ready for this Ravens matchup on Sunday. But we know, as I alluded to and as Jim Schwartz alluded to, that offense is more than just him, and they present some massive challenges this week. They will present some massive challenges this weekend. Real quick, injury notes from practice today. Ethan Posick was back at practice today after missing yesterday's session. The other 4 guys that missed yesterday of the group of 5 to sort of start the week were not back out there practicing. Ronnie Hickman was missing with that the ankle injury. Jerome Ford with the hamstring. Linebacker Jordan Hicks, who's dealing with a tricep and elbow injury. And then Jedrick Wills, who's obviously dealing with the knee injury. Those guys were all missing for the second consecutive day. We'll see what day 3 brings for that group of players, and if any of them are any closer to returning. But that's the latest on the injury front here from Berea. One more day of practice tomorrow before they take the field on Sunday against their division rival Baltimore, looking to desperately find that second win. Easier said than done, obviously, against that team. They're super talented, but they're going to go out there and try to pull off what would be considered, I think, by many a minor miracle and get one against their division foe on Sunday. That's going to do it for me here from Berea. I appreciate you guys stopping on in, checking in from practice. I do want to remind you or implore you to continue finding other content like this, including player and coach press conferences at the Cleveland Browns, on SI YouTube channel. And also, I encourage you to go to I encourage you to go to si.com/NFL/Browns for all kinds of written content from the biggest news and notes from the Cleveland Browns today. both from practice and otherwise. I got a story up with some of those comments from Ken Dorsey and others just about the play calling responsibilities and why that decision was made this week. That's going to do it, though. I appreciate you guys following along. I am Spencer German, and be sure to find all your Cleveland Browns coverage with the Cleveland Browns on SI.